22nd of May 2018, I was told that my mum had had an operation. On the 21st, she'd walked to the car and she'd been driven into the hospital in an estate car, in the front passenger seat of an estate car. She didn't limp when she walked to the car. She walked down 2 steps unaided. She walked to the car. She was driven to the hospital in an hour and a half, 2 hours. When she got to the hospital, she stood up out of the wheelchair and sat on the edge of the bed, and myself and her husband helped her swing her legs round into the bed. She said to me, "Cool, I hope I don't turn out like this lot in here." The next day she was like that. I wasn't allowed to go in until the afternoon, and when I went in, she looked so messed up. She didn't have tubes coming out or anything, but she was so messed up, it was awful to see. The day before she said, "Cora, I hope I don't turn out like this lot in here," and yet she had. She turned out just like those lot in there. I don't know what they did to my mum, but she was so messed up. Can you imagine how scared she was? She didn't know what had happened to her. She thought she was in there because she'd hurt her ankle, and the next day they'd done something to her, the 22nd, and they'd messed her up so much. It was awful. I bet when she was trying to hold my hand and I was holding her hand, I bet she was screaming, but she couldn't make any noise. And I bet she was screaming that she was so scared because they were doing something to her. And I don't know what they did to her, but I don't understand why the NHS car turned up on the 24th of June either. And I don't understand why I'm not allowed to report all these things to the police when clearly something untoward happened to my mum. My mum was murdered. She went into the hospital and she died in 4 days, not 14 days like the hospital records say. And what is it with this NHS car? They must be high up. And why were they hugging and celebrating an anniversary with 2 of the 3 people that did the handwriting samples that I sent into the hospital and to the coroner's office and to the police? And why aren't I allowed to report this?